The Indiana Fever have 5 days to fix the defense. Paige Bueckers just shredded in their own building. Saturday, May 9th, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The same Dallas Wings team that walked into Indianapolis last Thursday and outscored Indiana 36-12 in a single quarter is coming back to do it for real. And the most efficient 20 points anyone scored all preseason happened in 20 minutes against Caitlin Clark in her own home. And here's the part that should terrify every Fever fan watching this. Bueckers wasn't even trying to put up 40. She didn't have to. 20 minutes on the floor, 20 points on the board, 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, and every single one of those points came before halftime. By the time she sat down, the Wings were up 15, and the game was already decided. Caitlin Clark scored 21 points herself that night. Efficient, clean, exactly the version of Clark that was missing for most of last season. And Indiana still lost by 15. The Fever don't have a Bueckers problem, they have a defense problem. And Bueckers is just the first thing they're going to have to stop. Look at what she's actually got behind her now. Maddy Siegrist, the Wings forward who used to be a finesse shooter, came into camp 15 pounds stronger and posted 18 points and 11 rebounds on Thursday night. Aziaha James, the second-year guard out of NC State, dropped 17 off the bench and finished a plus 19. Alanna Smith, the defender who took Clark down with a flagrant in the third, she's a starter now too. Odyssey Sims runs the second unit. Azzi Fudd, the new #1 pick, was quiet in her debut. But she's there. The Wings shot 51% from the field, outscored Indiana in the paint 50-30. On the fast break, 21-9. Out-rebounded the Fever 45-26. That isn't a Bueckers versus Clark story. That's a full Dallas Wings team doing everything right against the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis with the lights on. And there's the man who built it. Curt Miller, Dallas's general manager, just finished building the most dangerous roster in the Western Conference without spending a single dollar of cap space yet. 2 consecutive #1 picks, Bueckers in 2025, Fudd in 2026. He paired them with Alanna Smith, a championship-level defender, signed Odyssey Sims to run the second unit, and kept Siegrist for the front court. No overpay, no cap break, no big swing in free agency, just 2 #1s and a handful of veterans who actually fit. When Miller took the Dallas job, he said this team would be ready to win in 2 years. We're inside of 1. The Connecticut Sun used to be Miller's team. He won Coach of the Year his first season there, won Executive of the Year twice, took Connecticut to the WNBA Finals in 2019. He knows exactly how to do this, because he's done it before. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable for Indiana. Caitlin Clark put this league on the map. Everybody knows that. But good feelings don't win championships. Rosters do. Clark scored 21 points on 6 shots Thursday, 11 of 13 at the free throw line, 2 of 3 from deep. The most efficient 21-point night anybody had on the floor. Then, in the third quarter, she went up for a 3. Alanna Smith, same Alanna Smith, closed out late and landed underneath her. Flagrant one. Clark went down hard on the knee, walked off gingerly, came back, hit 2 of 3 free throws, and got pulled for the night. After the game, she said, "I feel fine. I just landed on my kneecap really hard." That was the moment. The franchise's most important player, back from a season she missed almost entirely to injury, going down on a closeout the Wings barely apologized for. A year ago, that play would have been a lead story. Thursday, it was barely a footnote. And here's where it gets dangerous. Aliyah Boston wasn't on the floor Thursday. She'd suffered a lower leg injury during the offseason, playing in the Unrivaled 3-on-3 league this winter that knocked her out of the Unrivaled playoffs and the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in March. Lexie Hull wasn't on the floor either, dealing with hamstring tightness. Tyasha Harris, the Indiana native they brought in this offseason, sat too, still working her way back from knee surgery that cost her most of last season. Stephanie White called the whole approach cautious. She didn't want to push her starters in a preseason game with the regular season around the corner. Cautious is a word coaches use when they don't have depth. Boston is the Fever's best interior defender. Hull is the best perimeter defender. Harris is the most experienced backup guard on the roster. The 3 of them sat, and Dallas hung 95 points and outscored Indiana 36-12 in a single quarter. Take away your 3 best defenders, and the team that's left can't slow down a Wings squad that wasn't even running its real offense. Jose Fernandez, the new Dallas head coach, said it himself afterward. "We tried to keep it very vanilla in what we did today, only running 3 or 4 actions. 3 or 4 actions. 36 points in a quarter. Now, here's the part that should make every Fever fan nervous. The 4 players who tipped off the past 4 WNBA drafts at number 1 overall will all be on the floor. Saturday, May 9th. Aliyah Boston, picked first in 2023. Caitlin Clark, picked first in 2024. Paige Bueckers, picked first in 2025. Azzi Fudd, picked first in 2026. 2 of them play for Indiana. 2 of them play for Dallas. The 2 on Indiana, Boston and Clark, are still recovering from injuries. Boston sat out preseason. Clark sat out most of last season. The 2 on Dallas just dropped 24 combined points on the Fever in the same building where Saturday's game is being played. The Wings have the last 2 number 1 picks. The Fever have the first 2. Which way do you want to bet that arrow's pointing right now? There's one piece of this puzzle that works in Indiana's favor, and it's easy to miss. Raven Johnson, the rookie out of South Carolina the Fever drafted at number 10 overall, 5 steals in 21 minutes Thursday night. 5. She came out of the program Dawn Staley built, and Stephanie White, on the day Indiana drafted her, called Staley the greatest point guard that's played the game. Johnson learned how to defend from a Hall of Famer, the kind of disruptive perimeter defense Indiana hasn't had on the roster since Tamika Catchings, 5-time Defensive Player of the Year, Hall of Famer, the WNBA's all-time steals leader, was patrolling the wing at Gainbridge. Johnson isn't going to start. She doesn't need to. But when Clark needs a breather, and she will because the Fever still have to manage her load coming off injury, Johnson can come in and lock somebody up. Pair Johnson with a healthy Boston in the paint and a healthy Lexie Hull on the wing, and the defensive shape Indiana didn't have Thursday could actually exist Saturday. But probably is a gamble. And the thing about chemistry, you don't realize what it's worth until it's gone. There's a reason teams who lose preseason games like this don't usually win the season opener. The pattern with Curt Miller is always the same. He takes a roster that on paper looks unfinished, finds 2 or 3 pieces that actually fit, and then makes the league look slow for not noticing earlier. Connecticut went from afterthought to finals fixture in 2 years. Dallas went from the worst record in the WNBA last season, 10 wins, 34 losses, to outscoring Indiana 36-12 in a single quarter, in the same building where the regular season starts, in one offseason. And that brings us to Saturday, May 9th, 1 o'clock Eastern. A BC national broadcast. Boston is expected back. Hull is expected back. Kelsey Mitchell, then the Fever's leading scorer last season, the player who carried the team on her back through Clark's injury, will be on the floor next to Clark for the first time in months. The Fever's full starting lineup will be on the floor for the first time since September. The storyline writes itself. Caitlin Clark, finally healthy, leading her team into a season opener the entire league is going to be watching. But the question nobody on the Indiana side is actually answering is the one that matters. The Wings just outscored Indiana 36-12 in a single quarter, with the Fever sitting out 3 of their 4 best defenders, yes. With Bueckers playing 20 minutes, not 30, yes. With Dallas running, in Jose Fernandez's words, 3 or 4 actions, also yes. So what changes when the Fever's stars come back? When Bueckers plays 30 minutes? When Fudd finds her shot? When Fernandez stops keeping it vanilla? There's a reason this game made it onto network television. The 2026 season opener has the past 4 number 1 overall picks on the floor. It has the reigning Rookie of the Year. It has Caitlin Clark coming back from the worst year of her professional career. It has the team that just outscored Indiana 36-12 in a single quarter, at home, without trying. And it has 5 days for the Indiana Fever to figure out what they're going to do about Paige Bueckers. Because Paige Bueckers already had hers.